Hey, beautiful. How are you? Yes, you. Here at Hummingbird Daily, we're all about making you see the beauty in the ordinary things. Those things that you may normally have overlooked. We want to open your eyes to the beauty in the ordinary things through our conversations, our relatable and engaging content stories. So those things that normally you would have passed by, you would have overlooked them because they are not presented in a certain package. They are not catchy. Yet it does not change their authenticity. Now that's the catch. So yes, you are beautiful in every sense of the word. Believe that. My name is Mfonbasi and I remain your host on Hummingbird Daily Soul Food, the podcast. This is still our lifestyle and culture segment. And today we'll be talking about stereotypes on today's episode of Soul Food. So I'm really sorry. Forgive me if I have been MIA. I'm so sorry. We're working really hard to bring to you relatable stories that resonate with the everyday person. We are working so hard to bring that to you. Stories that you can relate with. So I'm really sorry if I have been off the radar. So I'm back anyways. So today's topic is stereotypes. I'm saying that again. This topic is rather personal to me because I have had my own fair share of this experience. I've had my share of labels, of tags. It rarely has anything to do with my ethnic background. Well, maybe most of the times, but it has more to do with the fact it has more to do with me being a lady, me being a woman. So stereotypes here. I'm sure we are familiar with all of this. When I was younger, I had these conversations. I've had these conversations with my sisters and I. And my brother hasn't been excluded either. We've had these conversations where she's like telling us, mentioning places where we should or shouldn't marry from. She goes like, don't marry from Igbo and this and that. Should I fill you in on the details? Should I fill you in on her reservations? Okay, stay with me. We'll get to that point. She makes this list, mentions all these places, and at the end of the day, we are just restricted to very scanty places, maybe 4 or 5 places, of which are majorly local government areas in my birthplace, from Akwa Ibom State. She doesn't even go farther east or west. It's just within my state. So even within Akwa Ibom, she has her misgivings about certain places. She has her misgivings about some local government areas as well. And if you ask me, it's mostly not from experience. I tell you, it's not from experience. It's mostly from hearsays. It's mostly from side talks. It's mostly from assumptions and rumors. It happened to this person. It happened to that person, We know African parents now. We've had those moments. But yeah, on one occasion, I call it maybe my inner child. It's always good to retain that childlike nature. Children are naturally curious. Children are very inquisitive. They ask questions a lot, which is a good thing. So as adults even, it is perfectly okay to question some things. It's perfectly okay to ask questions, to seek guidance. Don't just swallow everything hook, line, and sinker. No, it's perfectly okay. At some point, I was forced to ask my mother, is it that everyone from Igbo is the same? Don't get me wrong, it wasn't about Igbo alone. I'm just using Igbo as like a random instance. But how can you just put every single person inside one box? How can you just classify every single person from a community inside one box? Like nobody just stands out? Does it mean there are no good eggs? And of course, Nigerian parents, they are all. She wasn't having it. She wasn't buying that. So my opinions to myself up until now, actually voicing it out. It's a cause for concern. So stereotype is merely an assumption. It's an assumption. It's not certain. It's a fixed general image or like a perception or set of characteristics that a lot of people generally believe represents or is associated with a particular group, a particular person, a particular region or community, or even a thing. Well, it could be positive sometimes. It is often unfair and untrue, really. So when someone assumes something about you because of one part of your identity, that is stereotype. It is a cognitive component in our perceptions of regions, of groups of people, of communities, of group members. It could be positive or negative beliefs. Yes. So even if it is positive, it's still a stereotype. Because someone could tell me, oh, Akwa Ibom women, you're from Akwa Ibom. Akwa Ibom women are great cooks. They really do know how to cook. Yes. I'm sure you've heard that a lot. Calabar women, Akwa Ibom women, they are great cooks. But you're not so sure because you haven't met all the women in Akwa Ibom. So what makes you so certain? What makes you so sure that every single woman, just because you're from Akwa Ibom, just because you're from Calabar, it is already settled. It is believed that you are an awesome cook. You're great in the kitchen. You have culinary skills. So it's positive, but it's still a stereotype. Sometimes we may use these beliefs to guide our actions towards people from these groups. You may decide to date an Akwa Ibom woman just because you want to taste the food, just because you heard that they are great cooks. You may decide not to do business with someone from the East just because you think they are not good. They play smart, street smart. They could do anything for money. They are overly ambitious. When it gets to money, when it gets to the Benjamins, the doughs, they could actually go to any length to get it. By all means, you would not maybe want to do business with them just because of what you heard, those beliefs. I've heard quite a number of them. Some people believe that Akwa Ibom or Calabar girls are good in bed. Some think that girls from Akwa Ibom or Calabar are promiscuous. Some believe that they are great cooks. Of course, I mentioned that earlier. I'm just going to go through some. Some think Akwa Ibom men are lazy. Yes, I've heard that too. Some say people from Akwa Ibom are lousy. I have heard that too. They step into a place and oh my God, they just want to be noticed. They're loud. That's the word. I heard that. So we go further to the east. The Igbos are cunning. They're fraudsters. They are dubious. Them too like money. It's even represented in our Nollywood movies. So we can't even blame what people think because that perception is already there. They would go any length to get that money. These are just instances. I've also heard that from the west, Yoruba demons. The Yoruba demons. Do you want me to talk? It is often associated with this G-boy is here too. And of course, witchcraft. Yes, this particular place is Shan. They associate it with witchcraft. I have local government Akwa Ibom State, where if you mention you're from Oran, the first thing that comes to people's mind most of the time is their witchcraft is strong. Then they fly for afternoon. They fly in the daytime. They don't wait till night. Their own is as in koro. So if you mention that, and maybe you mention Ishan, it's like Uran is child's play when compared with Ishan. The witchcraft in Ishan is actually stronger. That is the perception. So Uran people are amateurs when it comes to that. Oran and naked girls, I've heard a lot. They are often perceived to be promiscuous, and Oran girls, they are often perceived to be very good in bed, as if they hold you. My brother. Let's not go there. The funny thing is, even within Akwa Ibom State, as I have mentioned, we still have this stereotype within ourselves. We still have these negative beliefs within ourselves. The same goes to other regions. So these things happen. And in addition to our stereotypes, we may also develop prejudice. It could take the form of disliking, anger. Someone may already dislike, or like I mentioned, for example, Oron and naked girls, like they think they are promiscuous, and someone may already dislike a girl just because of that. Or someone may even see a girl putting on an anklet and he'd give you that look of disdain, of disgust. So it develops prejudice. Like it could take the form of anger, disliking, fear. They would not want to do business with this person just because he's from this place that is believed to be, it goes on and on. Discomfort or even hatred. Stereotypes or prejudice could trigger our responses. It could affect the way we respond to certain people. So let's look at it this way, because I remember a few years ago, a friend told me something and it stuck. He told me to let go of every preconceived image or idea I may have had. Once I come in contact with people, when I get to meet people, I should get rid of every preconceived idea or notion or image and just get to know someone as a human being on a human to human level. And it stuck. So instead, why don't we try to get past these beliefs, to react to these people, to the people that we meet, more on the basis of his or her individual character? Not because he's from Edo, not because he's from Yoruba, not because he's from Igbo or any other place, not because he's Christian, not because he's a Muslim. Just relate to him because his name is Akman, or my name is Mfon, or her name is Amarachi. Just get to know her on a personal, individual level. That's it. It's we like some people and we dislike some other people. It's only natural. But we shouldn't let that affect the way that we relate with people. It shouldn't be. We shouldn't let a person's skin color or gender or a person's age or religion or his or her ethnic background make these decisions or determinations for us. Don't let that choose who you should relate with or how you should relate with a person. But instead relate to him on his or her individual character on that level. Our stereotypes and our prejudices may create discrimination. Yes, we talk about discrimination, we talk about racism, we talk about xenophobia. Don't even go far. We only relate it to the whites and the people of color. But we are oblivious to the fact that it is subtly encouraged within our society. We encourage it within our society, where you tell someone, don't marry from this place because of that picture that you have in your heads, this picture that we have in our heads. So concerning that particular sect, regarding this particular community, so don't marry from that place. We tell people, don't do business with him, don't do business with her, because it's believed that he comes from a place where her indigents are dubious. Discrimination is a major societal problem because it's so pervasive. It takes so many forms. And these stereotypes and prejudices, they are just subtle. They have a role in instigating it. If we notice, oftentimes the basis for these beliefs is hasty generalization. There is no solid proof. There is no concrete evidence. Take, for instance, you go to a hospital and you meet this nurse. And she was so rude to you. She was frowning. She was harsh. And after that, you just go and, God forbid, nurses, they are rude. They are nasty. They are not polite. You have already concluded. You've made your conclusion based on your experience or your ordeal with one particular nurse. Probably this lady had a bad day. Woke up on the wrong side of her bed and just carried it like that to work. She had her own issues, clouded her head and her judgments and all of that. I or some other person goes the following day and she's all smiles. She's so jovial, she's so welcoming, she's so receptive. And then this same nurse